Well, hey there, everybody. Today I stumbled across this on Craigslist. It is 13.5 pounds of 6mm clear lead-free tubing. It's about a little over half of a box. And of all the boxes and tubing I have here, I purchased when I bought up that closed shop, none of it is lead-free. The only lead-free I have are those two arrows on the Dundee parking sign. And I've since bought some lead-free electrodes, but I haven't used them to repair that quite yet. So I wanted to kind of do an initial impressions of the comparison of leaded glass to lead-free. Now, I am not at all a professional. I have not worked with leaded for decades like the professionals did when the industry switched to lead-free in the early 2000s. So it's just kind of my initial impressions here with the very limited exposure I have to neon bending. Now, I'm looking to expand to lead-free because the leaded glass is essentially unobtainium. They don't make it anymore, and it glows under ultraviolet light, which makes it more brilliant, and it's usually used for vintage sign restorations. So I kind of want to save my old stock for that sort of thing and kind of switch to lead-free for practice, shall we say. I do have one tiny scrap of everything I got from the shop. This is the only piece of 6mm tubing I have. It's about 5 inches long, and it's usually used for tubulation when hooking up to a manifold or as structural support on long tubes. And the reason I wanted some 6mm is because when evacuating a tube, the 5mm versus 6mm, the 6mm has a 30% larger cross-section area, which means a faster evacuation and a better ultimate vacuum. In short, it pumps better. So I like the larger volume, and we'll see what we can do with this. I'll fire up the torches. Recently switched the crossfire to a knife, and we'll see how the 6mm fares lead and lead-free. Now, I got two kinds of files here. What I'll be using, the one I like to use is this McMaster-Carr diamond file. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in that. But because it lasts so much longer. Lead-free glass is harder to cut than leaded glass. Lead glass is very soft, and for decades, the neon industry, they used the double-cut bastard file, cross-cut or double-cut, but you had to sharpen it down. Normally, these were just a bar, and as you had to grind it down as it wore down to keep it sharp, keep the edges sharp so you're cutting. You can see this is actually kind of dull. So I like to use this the diamond file, which will be appropriate for lead-free. But enough talking about it. Let's get this fired up and see what we can do. All right, first thing I'm going to try here is the leaded tubing. Scored a little bit. Snap it. Cap on one end to seal it off. And the other, blow hose. And we'll get into the fire and see what happens. All right, and dim the lights a little bit so we can kind of see what happens. But this is the 6mm leaded tubing. Trying to do a weld here. Oh, it's hot. All right, so, oh, it's a terrible weld because my fingers got really hot. Now for the lead-free tubing. Come in 4-foot lengths. All right, and this is the lead-free tubing. Cutting for the first time. The piece is longer, so I'm not burning my fingers like I did with that tiny piece of lead glass. So, let's see. All right, no big deal there. But cutting small diameter tubing is super easy. So, all right, we'll cut it in the middle. Just gotta score it and snap it. And then we'll put a cap on the one end, blow holes on the other. Let's see what this is like. All right, so I have not adjusted my fires at all. These are still very lean fires adjusted for lead glass. So we'll see what the lead-free does in these very lean fires. Oh, all right. I'm already seeing a lot of sodium flare. A lot of sodium flare there. The sodium flare is that orange splashing that you see. That was not present when we were working with the lead. All right, and here are the two after the welds. I went back and reworked this one a little bit, the lead glass, because I didn't like the weld and singed my fingers a little bit and the paper, but anything for neon. Burn and bleed 101, right? Anyway, with this lead-free glass, that sodium flare we were seeing earlier, that orange splashing, happens when glass containing sodium gets heated up. And it creates a wavelength at about 589 nanometers, visible spectrum, and it can actually get in the way of your work. And to alleviate that issue, we need didymium glasses. And didymium are special lamp-working glasses that are designed to filter out the upper 500 nanometer wavelength of light to block out the sodium flare. So what I want to try to do with these, I want to put these over the camera lens and see what it looks like. See if you guys can tell the difference, if the camera will see what I see. All right, so I got two cameras jerry rigged up to this tripod here, so hopefully you can kind of see what's going on here. There's that orange splashing, sodium flare. And hopefully you can see on the one with the didymium lens that the glass work is a lot easier to see in the flame. All right, there it is, that one in the middle. One other thing I wanted to try was to weld the two types of glass together. When they designed lead-free glass, they designed it with very similar characteristics to the leaded glass, so they would be intercompatible, like similar coefficient of expansion and temperature characteristics. So we'll see what happens when we weld these two pieces together. All right, and that's two kinds of glass together, lead on the right and lead-free on the left. Not much noticeable difference at the moment, but under ultraviolet light, it's pretty obvious to tell which one is which. So lead glass doesn't do much when filled with neon because neon doesn't emit much ultraviolet radiation. But blue tubes, argon, mercury, you can definitely see the extra dimension on those old signs. So anyway, I'm excited to get this lead-free stock, do a little practicing, and hopefully soon I'll get some more larger diameter tubing so I can get some more experience with that too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe for more neon related videos, and we'll see you next time.